This Mission 200 at the Glen Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
We want to talk about racing things. It's the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. And Cody, this show almost didn't happen because the books didn't want to give us racing things to talk about until very, very late in the game.
Well, first of all, Rod, welcome to After Dark with Rod and Cody, late night edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. If you're tuning in live, but yeah, it's better late than never, I guess is what we'll say about that. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting. I haven't even looked at your picks, Rod, which I probably should do. But yeah, I'm interested to hear your take on this Xfinity Series race. This is, and we'll get to the entry list here in a few, but holy loaded field. This might be one of the most loaded, lower series fields that we've done on this show, maybe even. I mean, this is a stacked, stout, fucking ready to roll lineup. So yeah, gonna be a fun, interesting race to talk about, and how to approach it, I think, is gonna be sort of interesting. Real quickly, Ricardo checking in the chat. Do we want to parlay? Are we here? Of course we want to fucking parlay, Ricardo. What are you cooking up for us? We want to hear it.
Is that like a pirate parlay? Does that mean we get to meet with the captain of the ship and talk about all the good stuff that we can have, all the booty we can plunder if we stick around with him? No, of course. So we are. Okay, let's not bury the lead here. You loyal listeners know that we definitely tend to go off before we actually come back on track again. We are at Watkins Glen for the Xfinity Series. Still not in the playoffs yet. That's another 3 months away, so don't worry about that.
Two races, Rod. Well, we got 2 races.
I'm sorry,
this
that's still
like
next
3
week. 3 months. It doesn't
forever.
There's just no way it's 2 races away. It's been 2 races for the last 6 months, so don't give me that. Mission 200 at Watkins Glen, a road course race. Another sort of wild card, just like Cody said, because we're not in the playoffs yet. Everybody and their grandma from the Cup Series, from F1, from your local dirt tracks can all still enter this race, and they have, by the way. So this is going to be a very interesting race to handicap. Odds are hard to come by, if I can, it's look at okay. Honestly, when we get to the recap part of it, Cody has a normal size font. That will tell you exactly how limited the books are in what they're offering. I have not seen Cody's boxes this thin since we first started this show.
This might be the first time in history. The winner's box is always different, right? Because you're always going to put a couple in there, or at least I do. But this might be the first time in history that none of the other boxes are have multiple picks in on them, which says something, I guess, Rod.
It really, really does. So, but yeah, again, we're getting into road course racing. We're going to have a good time doing it. But I want to also tell you real quick that the NFL and college football are in full swing. We just watched Buffalo dispatch of the Miami Dolphins. Just not even a close game. And I'm sure that the folks over there at the SGPN were on the Bills, because how could you not be? So make sure you subscribe to them, the Sports Gambling Podcast and the College Football Experience, because guess what? College football back again. They got free picks for every game against the spread. Every single college football. That's all 600 college football games and all 16 NFL games.
Speaking of college football, Rod, I saw your guys are going to be part of the Pac-2. You're going to make it the Pac-8, something like that. Yeah, Fresno State going over to the Pac, whatever number it wants to be this year.
Needs to be. They need to go. They need to leave the Mountain West. I mean, anytime I can get away from that stupid blue field out there in Boise State, I'm a happy gentleman. So
I think Boise State might have been one of the teams that's going with them.
They are, but I still.
So you're still going to have the stupid,
stupid
deal, but that's okay. All right, Rod. I want to start with a piece of news that we had today, and it is Xfinity Series related. Mr. Parker Kligerman, old PK, retiring from full-time competition after 2024. If you followed him kind of around for years, he's been a journeyman, kind of traveled throughout the times and piecing apart and stuff together, doing the NBC deal along with driving. And then, this last 2-3 seasons here, he's kind of settled into this 48 car. It's been a pretty good ride on the edge of the playoffs, trying to get in here with a couple of races left to go. But this is going to be his final full-time season. Sounds like he'll still do some stuff part-time, which is kind of what he'd been doing prior to jumping in this 48 car full-time anyways, and then maybe focusing a little more on the TV side of things. So, not the biggest earth-shattering news, but notable news for sure.
Hey, this guy's got a broadcast career to look after. You can't really talk if you have your throat chopped out by getting in a wreck. So you gotta protect that career.
What kind of wrecks are we talking about, Rob?
Hey, we've seen some pretty gnarly wrecks in the last couple of weeks. So I would imagine that you take a look at a couple of those and you think to yourself, do I want to be in the pits reporting or in the pits on a gurney? Like, what do I want to do?
I've seen some of them fires in the pits here lately, too. I don't know I want to be down there either.
That's absolutely true. No announcement yet on the 48 who's taking its place, but that's going to be a pretty interesting open ride. That's not a bad car, honestly, to have a start in or even get a chance.
Yeah, it's it's kind of that tier 2.5, tier 3 kind of car, that next kind of level underneath. I guess it's probably tier 3 underneath, like RCR and that. But it's a solid ride, right? You're always going to kind of flirt with the playoffs. And you have the opportunity to get some top 10s here and there. And obviously we've seen Parker do well on road courses. We've seen him do well on super speedways as well. So yeah, be interesting to kind of see the next evolution of that 48 team.
Maybe Corey Heim goes in that 48 because he's not making friends in the Toyota camp. As of
That's
late.
the thing, though, which is so funny because he's not. But at the same time, like, Toyota loves the guy. So I'm confused. But the Corey Heim, it blows my mind that guys like Corey Heim can't find funding. I mean, there was no sponsors on that 26 car at all. And then some of these guys that get these rides, I don't know, whatever. It's a story for another day, but it's interesting.
Indeed. All right. Story for today, though, is the fact that we are on the Watkins Glen International little road course there in Watkins Glen, New York, set for 82 laps around this 2.450 mile road course for 200.900 miles. I'll step aside while Cody delivers the all-important entry list for this because brace yourselves, folks. There's a lot of names you're going to recognize from Sunday.
Yeah, go grab a coffee, Rod. Take a break, pick up a donut or something while I read this entry list for you. 41 entries for the Xfinity Series race, 38 spots. This is the Bristol is the regular season finale next week for the Xfinity Series, which means this is the last week for Cup Series guys. They are taking full advantage of that. You got some road course ringers in here as well. So we'll start with the 07, Jade Buford, making his return to that car for SS Greenlight. In the number 13, we have got Kyle Keller. That's the MBM car, a long car. Probably not going to be a very good car. Keep that in mind. Let's see. In the number 15 car, Joey Logano, going to see if he can make it more than 2 laps before that one gives out. The Hendrick Motorsports 17 car is returning. That will be Mr. William Byron. We talked about a lot about him on the Cup Series betting episode earlier this week, I believe on the DFS show yesterday as well. Tyrone Gibbs is back in the number 20 car. Eric Almirola is going to be driving. Oh, wait, no, sorry.
I was going to say,
I
wait,
did that
no.
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gibbs is in the 19 car. I was like, wait, Almirola's in the 26, but I was reading it wrong. So, okay, Ty Gibbs, 19 car rather. Eric Almirola returning again. He is in the 20 car. Ed Jones going to be in the 26 car. Austin Green, maybe we'll talk about him tomorrow on the DFS episode, Rod. Love him for some DFS. He's going to be back in the 32 car. The number 35, Ricardo, a big fan of him. I believe he's mentioned him before, maybe racing with his son in go-karts. He was calling him out for a top 10, but unfortunately, as Kyle pointed out, no top 10 bets, which is what really just fucking limits us a lot here. But this is Thomas Annuzita? Ziata, I believe. We'll go with that. So yeah, I'm not going to try it again. But yeah, Rod said it there. So he's in the 35 car. That's Joey Gase entry. In the number 45 car, that Alon Day is coming back. He is the guy who fucked things up really bad at Chicago, if you remember. They had that entry there, and he was in practice, and they fucked it up and just packed it up and left. So interesting. I'd be surprised if he makes the race. Connor Zilich, is he NASCAR's next superstar? That's the promo they run on Dirty Mo every week for the Reloaded show. He is back in the 88 car for Junior Motorsports. And Ross Chastain in the 92 car, Rod. So yeah, now that we're finally done with the entry list, we'll see you guys tomorrow for part 2 of this episode.
I'm telling you, look, and obviously not everybody's going to make this race. So you're right. It's just going to be a matter of, let's see which one of these guys that are on the fringe are going to be able to make it in there. But I mean, you got to figure, you skipped right over RC Emerson, my friend, in the 14. What are you doing? That's some notable name. I'm just kidding. It's not. But again, all these guys are going to be jockeying for position in there. But look, I say, and we've watched enough of these road course races in the Xfinity Series to know that the back markers are not who we're watching this particular race, because this is going to be a very chalky race. The books have labeled this a very chalky race, and we're just going to have to find good bets accordingly.
Yeah, this is like, this weekend just feels so weird because this is, and we talked about the Cup Series. Like, I think that's the most chalk of a card I've ever given out before, and it's not much different here in the Xfinity Series. Like, it's just, especially with no top 10s. Like, I think in the Xfinity Series there would be, because you got all these ringers in here. I'd love a top 10 on an Austin Green. Like, I would love to be able to place that bet. A top 5 though, like, man, that's just with Byron and Gibbs and SVG and Allmendinger and all these guys in this race. It's just going to be so tough for a guy like that. So yeah, it's a mixture. It's a lot like the Cup Series, where we're going to stay pretty chalk on a lot of things for myself. Got a couple a little bit of longer shots that I sort of like taking some shots at as well. Not the crazy long shots we usually give out, but some longer stuff. So they made us wait for it, then they made us work for it, Rod. But here we are.
Look, and you said your hosting skills are not a 10. Come on, my friend. You are a beautiful, beautiful host. I love that.
Oh, boy. Nico, nice to see Cody Honey Bun Zeeb has been released from Sergeant Peanut Butter's custody so we can get the show underway. Rod, I don't know why, but you scheduled this show for some reason to happen like 5 hours ago, even though we talked about it last night that it was going to be late because of you, not my fault. Then Nico's hitting me up. There's people waiting in the chat. I don't know if you scroll all the way back to the top, but King was in here at 4:09. He was waiting for us to talk about his boy, Tyrone Gibbs. And then Nico was in here, said he appreciated us delaying the show. He's awake. We could start. Dr. Scotty Jones got himself, do I have time to go get myself pizza? Hopefully went and got himself pizza. King was talking about at this rate, he would have time to grow his own tomatoes and ingredients. So yeah. Anyways,
listen, I apologize because I had this scheduled yesterday for 2:00 because this is the show.
Oh, that's right.
Yesterday. So I rescheduled it for today, 2:00, and then we talked it through because I had an arrangement come up for an exciting new adventure that I've got going on, and that I needed to clear out. And so we were like, well, should we do 8:30? We'll do 8:30. In my head, which by the way is not very reliable nowadays, I thought I'd moved this to 8:30 already. Apparently not. So thank God Cody was at the helm and got us right. So sorry, apologies for everybody trying to catch this at 2:00 today. You know how this world
Shit
works.
happens.
It happens. All right. Well, then we have got some bets to set up here for this race, and I want to tell you all about them. But before we do, let me take this opportunity to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em gives you a chance to win 1,000 times your entry. NFL's back, baby, and there are a ton of Pick'em specials to get you started. Plus, great action for college football. As you know, NASCAR F1. We gave you some great F1 picks on the F1 Gambling Podcast, so make sure you go check those out. We gave you some great picks yesterday for the Cup Series DFS episode, and we'll give you some more tomorrow for the Xfinity Series episode. So keep an eye out for those. Their lobby's jam-packed with profit boost and no sweat entries. You can also use specials and boost on all flex entries. Again, we gave you a ton. Go back, listen to them. We're going to give you some more again tomorrow. So sign up with our promo code. In the meantime, race SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code race SGPN. All right, Cody, we are, like we said, road course racing, left and right turns. Chalk is chalk. I feel like, what did we say earlier in the week? Grab your favorite flavor of chalk and settle in for a nice meal, because that is what you're going to be eating this week.
Yeah, and then, boy, we're going to have to hope on the recap show that this ends up being a chalky week, Rod. But, you know, that's how it goes. So, again, found some stuff we like, so don't shut the show off, you know. All right, Rod, I'm going to start with a head-to-head matchup here. I like this head-to-head for a couple of reasons. Even though the guy that I am taking against in the head-to-head, I'm going to take later in the show. So it's going to all kind of come full circle, but I feel like there's a good argument for both things. So we're going to start out with the head-to-head. It's Justin Allgaier over Sam Mayer at plus 110. Little bit of a hedge on later is kind of what I'm thinking here. So Justin Allgaier, very solid road course racer. We've seen him do really well this season. 6th place at Sonoma, 2nd place at Portland, 13th at Coda, 9th at Chicago, if you want to toss that in there. Again, I take the street course with less lightly, but you can put it in there if you want to. Last season, 2nd place at Portland, 16th place here, but he did start 3rd, so was having a good day early, issues later. 5th place at Indy, 7th at Sonoma, 5th at Coda, 3rd at Chicago. Again, that was a rain-shortened race, whatever. So all very solid, consistent runs from Allgaier, right? That's kind of what you're looking for in a nice head-to-head here. And then if you go back over, last week, 30th place finish, it's Super Speedway, Atlanta, drafting track, whatever, not great. But prior to that, 8 top 10 finishes in a row, 13 out of the last 15, it's been top 10 for Justin Allgaier. We had a little bit of piano talk early in the season. Things weren't going so well, but he's figured it out. 13 of the last 15 being in the top 10, very solid, good finishes. Now we're going up against Sam Mayer here, Rod. 2 top 10 finishes. Not only 2 top 10 finishes, 2 10th place finishes for Sam Mayer over the last 9 races. Things have not been going good for Sam Mayer. That alone right there, how bad he's been doing compared to how good Allgaier has been doing, is what makes me want to take this bet the most. Now, when it comes to road course racing, Sam Mayer can be really fucking good, but also really fucking bad. And so the inconsistency part is what we're getting at there. So in a little bit, I'm going to make the case for Mayer because of his number to do good and accomplish some big things. And if he does that, well, I'm not going to care so much about the head-to-head, right? So sort of hedging in a way, but I feel like Allgaier is the much safer play. But since we're getting good numbers on Mayer later, we're going to use that to our advantage as well. So some of Mayer's road course stuff, 3rd place at Sonoma. Great day there, right? That's a good run. Finished better than Allgaier by a couple of spots. But Portland, 28th. Coda, 9th. 19th in Chicago. And then if you go to last season, 3rd place at Portland, good one. Won the Roval, won here. 2nd place at Indy, won Road America. Great runs, right? 10th at Sonoma, 7th at Coda. So last season, really, really stout. We started calling him AJ Allmendinger Jr., all this stuff. This season, it's not been as hot. So, again, going to make more of a case for him in a positive way later. But when you're looking at what have you done for me lately, Allgaier has been consistent. He's getting to the end of these races, and he's finishing. And Mayer just seems to continue to have problem after problem, which we saw at the beginning of the season. They could not catch a break. Then it was like, okay, Mayer's back. It's that win. Here we go. And then fell right back off that cliff and has just not resurfaced over that. So, plus you're getting Justin Allgaier plus money, which I also like. Justin Allgaier plus 110 over Sam Mayer.
I like it. I'll have more to say about Allgaier in a little while. Like you said, I don't know that Mayer is going to be a top 5 car at the end of the day. He may be, who knows? But I know Justin Allgaier will at least be there as well, if not better, because he can take on these Cup guys and come out on top. He's not intimidated by him. He's beat him before. He could do it again. So I'll talk about him in a second. I want to give me props for this head-to-head. But I want to give you this head-to-head that I've got. It's Eric Almirola over Austin Hill. Almirola plus 115 over Austin Hill. But Rod, you say Austin Hill is a fantastic road course driver. Just look at his 8th place finish and his 5th place finish from Sonoma. Just look at his 3rd place finish and 5th place finish and 11th place finish at Portland. Just look at his 2 runner-up finishes at Circuit of the Americas. He did have a 37th place finish there, but that doesn't go to your argument of making him a good road course racer. But I will point to you and say, yes, but none of those are Watkins Glen, in which he has finishes of 30th and 14th. Something about this track. If this were COTA, I would not be giving you this bet. If this were Sonoma, I would not be giving you this bet. If this were any other road course race, if this was your backyard track that you dug out of your own backyard dirt, I would not be giving you this bet. But it is Watkins Glen. Something about this track has his number, and he's just not able to run well here in the 2 races that he's been. Could he do it again? Maybe he could do it this time. But this is a matchup against the 20 car. Need I remind you what this 20 car has done so far this season? So many victories, so many top 5 finishes, so many top 3 finishes. It's just insanity the amount of times that this car has been in victory lane. Also, the guy driving it right now has 2 top 10 finishes on this particular track. His 2 career starts versus Austin Hill's 2 career starts. Eric Almirola has beaten him in both. And I will say it wasn't even close. And I'll even go further. The first time Eric Almirola was driving this was 2011. He finished 8th in the 88. And then in the next race in 2018, 7 years later, he jumps back in a car, finishes 5th in the 98. So these aren't, JRM car back in the day. Yes, that's fantastic too. But it's not like he's in the Gibbs equipment that he's in right now with that 20 car that has been absolutely obliterating the field lately. What has Eric Almirola done in that 20 car, you say? Well, he finished 2nd at Richmond, 1st at Martinsville, 5th at Darlington, 3rd at Indianapolis. It's a front runner car. It's going to be a front runner car. Austin Hill can't figure out his way around this track. Therefore, I think Eric Almirola will have a much better finish than Austin Hill at the end of the day. And again, that 20 car, it can pilot itself to a 1st place finish or even a 2nd place finish. It doesn't need anybody in it. But the fact that Almirola's done it a couple of times already, I have faith in him more than I have faith in Hill.
Yeah, I think you have pretty good arguments here. I like that. I like the plus 115 side of things as well. I've got thoughts on both of these drivers coming up, so I will save the rest of it for that, Rob.
Beautiful. Well, then let's, I'll tell you what, let's go commercial free, shall we? I would very much love to go commercial free. So let's do that.
Yes, real quick. JB was saying, keep in mind, Mayer blew a tire at Portland with 3 laps to go. Yes, he was running 3rd place, hit the wall. I unfortunately remember that because it cost me a lot of money. And then at Chicago, got spun by teammates with 2 laps to go. But these things happen, which is, again, part of that, right? These things happen. And I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Sam Mayer should be good enough to be one of the guys that could win this race. But he should be that every week, and he's got 2 10th place finishes the last 9 races. That's sort of the issue with Sam Mayer here lately.
Well, and it's the same point I think we made on Tuesday when we were talking about drivers are like, yeah, but they're really good and just stuff happens. It's like, okay, but if that happens once, maybe twice.
That's those people who were coming at me last week on X about Kyle Larson. Yeah. Yeah, but I know he's the greatest, but 45 times it hasn't happened. So
they say, well, but it could. I mean, he got wrecked out here. He blew a tire here. It was a bad pit stop here.
Well, yeah. Well, it just snapped. I don't care what happened. something's going to happen. That's what I was saying.
The handicap is not that he's not talented enough to be able to get it done. It's just something happens.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, again, to the point. But, yeah, those are good things to remember as well, JV, which actually is going to help my point here in a few minutes when I make the positive case for him. So I'm playing both sides of the lawyer this time and trying to get both of these, both sides of the case for you.
I think the books made you do that this week. So, all right, we'll find out what Cody's talking about on the other side of the break as we go commercial free. Brought to you by our friends over at BetUS. We're brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business. BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 40 years, and you can bet anywhere. BetUS is available in a ton of locations, including internationally. BetUS has a massive props menu, same game parlays, and some of the best boosts in the business, plus an all new live betting experience. Easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. I'm going to give you a bet on the other side of the break that I really love with BetUS. So make sure you stay tuned for that. You can use our link to sign up too and get 125% deposit bonus. That's more than what you put in by a lot. So make sure you get in on that. On your first 3 deposits, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. As always, we're brought to you by Rhythm. Have you ever wanted to create your own sports betting model for football? Do you even know what a sports betting model is? Well, SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide better bettors like you, right? Of all levels, the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, and totals and props. Build your own model. You can copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or you can press build a model for me. Rhythm's it's going to give you predictions for every game and every player prop, and also has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. Used mine to build a model on rushing yards for James Cook in the game. They gave me that it needs to go over. Absolutely killed the over on James Cook because that dude just absolutely dominated tonight. So definitely get in and build your own. Claim your 7-day free trial too in the process by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. It also didn't hurt to have James Cook on my fantasy football team as well. So.
Yeah, that's boy, what a night he had. 3 touchdowns all in the first half? My goodness. That's pretty solid, Rod. That'll help your fantasy team out a lot.
It will. So will Anonymous Camel over there typing in the doc. I'm not quite sure what Anonymous Camel's doing, but are you changing the odds
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
Why am I showed up as who knows? Whatever. It's late. I don't care. All right, Rod. Well, you just brought up Austin Hill a couple of minutes ago, and you took Eric Almirola over him, and I see your case why, and I'm going to make a positive case for Almirola here in a bit as well. But I see Austin Hill at 5-1 for a top 5. And yeah, the Watkins Glen finishes haven't been the greatest. I get it. But Rod, at 5-1, when there's not a lot of value on the board, we don't have the top 10s, you're looking for stuff. Austin Hill's the type of guy that can get it done, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm placing this bet knowing Watkins Glen not his greatest road course, and maybe he just won't show up and have a great day. Maybe the top 5 will be your SVGs and your Allmendingers and your Byrons and your Gibbs and none of that would be shocking to me. But Austin Hill, the type of guy who can get it done, and we could say that for him literally anywhere, anytime, Rod. He could be in the top 5 at the end of the day. I don't care what type of track it is. I don't care where it is. You were talking about a track built in your backyard earlier. The same thing. He can finish top 5 on that track, Rod. Go back and look what he's done this season. We've had the 3 road courses, right? Again, not counting Chicago. 11th at Portland, 5th at Sonoma, 2nd at Coda. So 2 for 3 on road courses so far this season there. Go back to last season, 5th place at Portland, 9th at the Roval, 14th place here. Again, not the greatest here. 4th at Indy, 3rd at Road America. So 3 of the 5 inside of that top 5. So good enough for me to want to take it again. Yeah, the history here is not the greatest. It has only been 2 races. Xfinity Series, it's not quite as easy to look back as much like we have with the Cup Series where, some of these guys have been going there 15, 16 races, whatever the case may be. And it's Austin Hill. Like, the guy's off of yet another win at the Super Speedway. Rod was right. Bet on him plus 290 last week. Whatever. He What'd you get him for last week? Right? It was a plus 290, right? To win the
plus
race.
290. Yep.
He's 5-1 to finish in the top 5 this week. Just absolutely insane. And it was a drafting. Oh, just crazy. But anyways, yes, Austin Hill, type of guy who can get it done anytime, anywhere. That's what you're looking for. Again, I would love to go down to like the Austin Greens. I would, if we got the top 10s, but this is just such a stout, stacked, loaded field. It's going to be really, really tough for these guys. Any long shots to really break in there. So at 5-1, this is the long shot on the card for me. Is Austin Hill getting a top 5 at 5-1. He's kind of the end of guys that I really think he could show up and run second, third, fifth all day long, and it wouldn't be that shocking. Other than Watkins Glen's been one of his weaker road courses, but just in a general sense, he shows up everywhere and can get it done. So give me Austin Hill top 5 at 5-1.
It would take absolute carnage at the front of the field for this to end up any way other than what we think it's going to end up in. And as we've seen, it doesn't happen at the front of the field on this track. It definitely happens in the middle of the pack. Again, we see a lot of.
It doesn't, but Rod, Sam Mayer took out Ty Gibbs last year.
That's
the year
true.
before, it was Gibbs and Byron battling for the lead, and they took each other out. It can happen at the front, but
it just tends to not.
In general, not huge wrecks, right? You just one guy gets upon it, or one or two guys take each other out. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Chalk is going to be the name of the game. Nothing chalkier than Justin Allgaier. You talked about him earlier. I'm going to take him as a top 5 too, for all the reasons that you had said earlier in this. At plus 225, he should not be plus 225 for a top 5. Sonoma, you look at his 7th place finish and a 6th place finish. Portland, couple of runners up and a 5th place finish. He's never finished worse than 5th at Portland. And then you look at Road America, probably the weakest of all of his tracks, but he does have a win on that and a runner up in 2013 as well. And then Coda, a 3rd place finish and a 5th place finish there. So, a couple of bad finishes, but still a 3rd place and a 5th place finish there. He's sort of under the radar, good road course racer. You don't think of him immediately when you think of road course racing because of the SVGs, because of the AJ Allmendingers, because of these guys that have sort of popped up on the radar. He just sort of keeps getting pushed down because, well, first of all, he's a little bit older than most of the drivers out there. He's seen some things and done some things. So you just sort of say, meh, the young, shiny keys that you dangle in front of your face are a lot more sexy than this old wily veteran, but this old wily veteran can still take the lefts and the rights out there. So I'm on him to get a top 5 because, like I said, he's one of the ones that is not intimidated by the Ross Chastains, by the Eric Almirolas, by the William Byrons, by the Ty Gibbs. He's raced Ty Gibbs before, and he's beaten Ty Gibbs before on road courses. So, I'm going to take Justin Allgaier plus money, plus 225 to get in the top 5.
Yeah, I like it. Again, made the case for him earlier, right? In the head-to-head. He's a solid road course guy. Again, kind of searching around for some value. I think that this is a good place to find it. Kyle checking in, waiting for Ricardo. Ricardo must be in the lab right now. He's probably like Sean, got them goggles he's putting on, making some in the rhythm lab, trying to crank out his parlay. So we're waiting on that from you there, Ricardo. Nico's stage 1 parlays in the Cup Series is his target at the moment. Playoff with guys chasing playoff points, massive opportunity to flip the stage. That is going to be very interesting to see who does chase points, who doesn't, how much tire wear actually plays into it, what that kind of all amounts to and stuff, and we'll see. JDK has a feeling Tua is going to be a Kurt Busch of the NFL. If anybody cares about him, let him play again. Oh, that was rough, Rod. That's man, he's taking some fucking hits to the head, and that's been pretty rough. Nico tossing out a couple of other head-to-heads. Custer versus Creed, Kligerman versus Hill, Herbst versus Smith, all almost exactly even on his book. And they're all exactly even. Like, I looked at all 3 of these and I couldn't just pick a side on any of them. JB says the $1 million question. Will Sheldon Creed get another second place? Statistically, probably, right? I think that's where he finishes more than any other place. Ricardo checking in. He's doing it right now. So we'll have an update on the Ricardo parlay special coming up soon, Rod. In the meantime, I also jumped over to a guy in the top 5 finish. His number's a plus 275 over on Bet365, and it's Sam Mayer, Rod. Again, keep in mind all the things I said about him earlier, how things haven't been going good lately, but then let me remind you of when they do go good. Last season, 3rd place at Portland, won the Roval, won here at Watkins Glen, 2nd place at Indy, won Road America, 7th at Coda, 10th at Sonoma. That was his entire season of road course racing. 3 wins, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 7th, and a 10th. Pretty damn good season from him. This season, 3rd place at Sonoma. So he's got that top 5 already there, right? 28th at Portland, but as JB pointed out earlier, 3rd place with 2 laps to go. Got aggressive, got into the wall, had the issue there. 9th place at Coda. I believe this is what Nico was talking about early in the chat as well, when he said Mayer got dumped on lap 1 by SVG at a road course. Can't remember which one. I believe it was either that one or might have been the Sonoma race where he came back and finished 3rd. I can't remember. But either way, really, he's had a good shot at getting a top 5 in all of these. And don't forget the last season when we were saying, wow, is he the next AJ Allmendinger? Look at all these road course wins. Look at how well he's doing on the road courses. That's the flip side of the head-to-head, right? So you're taking Allgaier over him at plus money, but then you're getting him at plus 275, almost 3-1 to finish in the top 5. If he finishes in the top 5 and beats Allgaier, not that sad about it. Now, if Rod's bet hits and Allgaier finishes in the top 5 and Mayer finishes in the top 5 and Allgaier finishes ahead of Mayer, you might hit all 3 of these and have yourself a hell of a day. So give me Sam Mayer, top 5 at plus 275.
Have yourself a hell of a NASCAR day. Look, honestly, I wanted to argue with this one, but I can't because the value is there, and I'm gonna roll with you on that. But again, if Allgaier still finishes over Mayer, then you're having a great old time. So it doesn't even matter who hits and who doesn't. All right, this next line is criminal.
And just one more thing too. Sorry, that'll be such a when Mayer's having a good day. And then something bad happens, and you're like, I fucking knew this was going to happen. You're going to be like, well, I cashed the head-to-head, and it's going to make everything better.
Yep. Especially at plus money, because if this was, something else, then you aren't happy about that. So I love it. Good. Always look at the bright side of life. Some wise person told us that once a day. All right, this next line, criminal, absolutely criminal. AJ Allmendinger, top 3, close to 3-1, 2.5-1, plus 250. Over on Caesars. I don't feel like I have to justify AJ Allmendinger as a top 3 car because it should be something that happens. This should be one where what did I see? Shane Van Gisbergen. I didn't write it down, but his top 5 numbers nuked, his top 3 numbers nuked. What are we doing? AJ Allmendinger, the reigning Xfinity road course dude. Has he been that dude this season? No, but the finishes have not been terrible, right? At Austin, at Coda, he got a 10th place finish. It was kind of a rough day for AJ. This was the AJ getting back into the swing of the Xfinity Series full time. So I cut him some slack. He did start 5th in that race. So, I mean, whatever. But Portland came charging back, finished 4th. Is it a top 3? Nah, but again, I think this was an issue where there was we had SVG, you had Justin Allgaier, you had Sammy Smith. Which I don't know that Sammy Smith is going to jump up into the top 3 again. This one, I'll give a case for Sammy Smith later, but I don't think a top 3 is in his best interest. But I mean, look, if you look at and then Sonoma, he finished 17th. But need I remind you that he started 4th in that race first and foremost. Second of all, he actually finished 2nd the season before. What has he done on this track in particular? Right, 3 second place finishes. And then a disqualification in 2019, led 24 laps, ended up getting disqualified from that race. But still, 3 second place finishes outside of that disqualification. All 3 of those inside of the top 3. He is not driving for anything now more than just pride. And it is time for him to reclaim his throne. Will SVG win this race? I actually don't know. I would like to think that maybe. I'm not going to give him out as an outright because the number is ridiculous. And if you want it, this is the one time where I will tell you that you don't have to bet the chalk on this one because Austin Hill, I know SVG's won every single road course that he's ever been in from the beginning of time. It seems like, at least. But no, here, I'm not going to tell you that you have to take the chalk on this one, because there is opportunities for other drivers to win. But AJ Allmendinger as a top 3 car at plus 250. Come on, man. This is definitely a good bet for me.
Yeah, and this is a spot where you're getting a good number on him. You don't have to worry about him winning because SVG's out there, because Ty Gibbs is out there, because William Byron's out there, because Sam Mayer's out there, because Cole Custer's out there, because Austin Hill's out there. Like, and yeah, that's a lot of guys still to beat for the top 3. But if it is just an SVG day, which the books think is what's going to happen, okay, fine. He could still finish in the top 3. Cash this bet for you. Take everything Rod just said. My next bet, AJ Allmendinger top 5. It's plus 105 over on Caesars. Even money for all those exact same reasons. I mean, there's really not much more to add to it. He's the greatest road course racer in Xfinity Series history. He has so many fucking wins. It's not been the best of seasons, the greatest of seasons this year. I get it. 17th at Sonoma, but he was 4th at Portland. That's a top 5. He was 10th at Coda. That's in the mix, right? He's been 6th place in both Cup Series starts on road courses this year. Not bad. He won at Coda last year, 2nd at Sonoma, 3rd at Indy. Good finishes. Oh, yeah. 2022, the last time he started here, Rod, 2nd place. 2021, the second to last time he started here in Xfinity, 2nd place. Both of those are in the top 5. Both of those are in the top 3. You take both those bets and be happy with them because I really like that. Let's see. Ricardo. Wow, this is a hashtag DGens only parlay. Connor Zilich outright in Xfinity. So neither of us are going to give that out. And neither of us could find a way to get in on Zilich. He's his price just isn't good. Not all the prices are not good this week, and it sucks. Zilich, a guy we not talked about today. Maybe we'll find a way to bring him up on the DFS show tomorrow. He should be really good. You put him in that mix of all those guys I just listed off that could be a contender to win this. I could see him winning this. Montoya outright in the Cup Series. You lost me there. Montoya is a great, legendary driver. Amazing. I don't think he's going to do very good in the Cup Series. Charles Leclerc to win it at Azerbaijan. That one is actually, you just got to fix the Cup Series part of this. And I'm on board, Ricardo, because Leclerc could win this race at Baku as well. And he got plus 142,000. So I think that's 142,000 to 1. That's a pretty decent odds. Mostly lifted up by Montoya. So I think if you fix that part, we're on track here. JB said he's surprised that I'm not showing Austin Green some love after 81 to 1 cash last time. So that's the thing. We hit Austin Green at this 80 to 1 top 5 earlier this season, Rod, or whatever it was. A crazy big number. He's 15 to 1 with William Byron and Ty Gibbs and Connor Zilich and AJ Allmendinger and SVG. And all these people are in this field. And he's 15 to 1. I'm going to play him in DFS. I'll probably. We have not picked my picks for tomorrow's fantasy, but I'm sure I'll bring him up in there because I wanted to talk about him. But at 15 to 1 for a top 5, I can't. If we had top 10 odds, I would for sure place a bet on him. I cannot take him at 15 to 1. It's not worth it, and there's not. It's just not a thing. Nico, by the way, got AJ at 13 to 1. Hell yeah, outright. That is a beautiful number. That no longer exists here in the United States, anyways. But also, as much as it hurts for me to say no value in SVG, won't be up if he wins. But to him, the table stuff for AJ. And yeah, just to touch on it since you brought it up, he's plus 110 or plus 120 to win this race. Again, Ty Gibbs, William Byron, AJ Allmendinger, all these people in this race. Like, if SVG just goes and kicks everybody's butt, leads every single lap, will not be surprised, won't shock me. It's a lot like Austin Hill last week. He should probably be the best guy out there, and he's going to be really good. And we've seen what he's done on road courses this year, but there's also too many things that can go wrong. And one little mistake, the pit crew, whatever the deal is, it's hard to lay that short of a number with this stacked. This is a fucking stacked field, Rod, and it just makes that short of a number pretty crazy.
Yeah, and again, you'll make more money actually betting on an AJ top 3 or an AJ top 5 than you would betting on SVG because of the short odds. So save yourself the trouble in that one and just go with what we give you. and take that for what it's worth. All right, I'm moving on to, I talked about Sammy Smith earlier, kind of not having faith in a top 5 for Sammy Smith, but I do believe that he will be the better of Group B over on Caesars at plus 250. By the way, you'd win more if this cashes than you win if SVG wins. But this group consists of Joey Logano in the 15. I'm not even going to grace this with any sort of Joey Logano in the 15. That car has yet to see more than 4 or 5 laps on a track since it's been in.
It did okay last week at Atlanta. I think it made it to the end, but that's the first race in like 10 races that it was still alive. So
yeah, it's bad. Chandler Smith is the other person in that group, and then Ross Chastain. Again, for the number 15, the finishes at 13th. Lawless Allen actually got that thing across the finish line in a super speedway race in 13th place. But before that, 38th, 36th, 35th, 38th, 27th. You want to talk about a street course? Joey Logano did get it to 8th place in that street course race, but street course. Sonoma, a typical road course race. 25th or 32nd rather for Haley Deegan. Portland, 33rd for Haley Deegan. We know this car had crashed out of 4 straight races before, or engine problems before it finally got across the line. I just don't think Joey's got it in him to get across in the top 7 or even top 10 this time around either, because that car, as good as it was earlier in the season on a road course for Joey, I'm still not necessarily sold on that. We talk about Ross Chastain in the Xfinity Series, has not had the it factor at all. So not really excited about him at all. So Sammy Smith, right? And Chandler Smith too, by the way. I get it. He's good on.
Don't say his name, Rod. Jesus.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was. I didn't mean to like throw your outs. Chandler Smith did finish 8th here in his only Xfinity start. But again, like I said, Sammy Smith to me just has the potential to get it done, especially in this JRM car, because that's kind of where it's been this season for young Sammy Smith. I'm clicking around because I have all of his stats up, and then they're all gone. So
Sammy Smith, Rod, he had such a glow on him, this young star coming to JGR. I was so excited. I was betting on him every week, and he's just like fizzled out, and it's sad. I don't even ever look at Sammy Smith anymore, and it makes my heart sad.
It does. Doesn't it make your heart sad? It really does. But my God, Rod, this is what happens when you click off too many tabs.
I do know on Road America a couple of years ago, he was like, I think 3rd place in that race in a JGR car, and then I think he blew up or something and ended up not getting a result, but he's definitely shown some prowess on the super speedway, or on super speedways too, sure, but on road courses, Rod.
Okay, I've got it. You can quit vamping now. Here we go. I'm good. So on this particular track, he's not having a whole lot of road course experience, right? But on this track, he does have a 3rd place finish in 2022. Had a bad outing last year, 18th place finish there. Sonoma, a 9th place finish in his first start. 33rd was a little rough go for him last year, or this last race at Sonoma. Portland, though, he did have a really good race, finished 3rd earlier in the year. So again, he's shown that he can get it done on road course races. I think he's going to be somewhere in the 6 to 8 range, which is where all these other guys are probably going to end up, between 8 and 15. So except for the 15, which will probably end up being finishing the race on Monday.
And like Kyle pointed out, Logano, lap 1 2 weeks ago, but he didn't even make it 2 laps. Was that at Darlington, and that 15 car was done already.
So Sammy Smith, let's circle back to that to win Group B, plus 260 over Logano, Chandler Smith, and Ross Chastain.
Yeah, no argument from me here. I mean, Ross, that 92 car just isn't that great. It'll pop up every once in a while because you avoid some chaos and have a good finish. But other than that, don't love it. The 15 car, we've obviously talked about that plenty. And the 81 car, we're not saying his name for a reason, Rod. So there you go. Ricardo, update on the parlay. You can swap out Montoya and put in Hamlin instead. I like that much better. 93,000 to 1 or 9,300. Fuck, I don't know. Plus 93,000. So whatever the fuck that means.
That's a big number.
That's too much math for me, Rod. Nico checking in with a quick parlay that goes down at 7 hours. Practice 1, Max fastest, Perez top 3, 46-1 for just those things. Wow. Okay. I like it. Bet 365. Well, yeah, get it. All right, Rod. Next up for me, Tyrone Gibbs. Finally, some good news about Ty Gibbs this weekend for our friends. Since you've been hating on him so much here lately, Rod. I'm gonna take him top.
So they got my face on the dartboard.
Oh, I'm seeing the Facebook groups, Rod.
Yeah.
You don't want to see what they've done to your face. That's not
fine.
good.
It's fine. It can be worse than what's it going right now.
So I'm going to take him top 3 plus 120. Look, he's 4-1 outright, and like if you're going to take that, it's just again because there's so many guys that should be so good in this. Just take the top 3 number instead, and I'll be happy if he gets the top 3 here. He's been really fucking good at Watkins Glen, Rod. Really, really fucking good in the Xfinity Series. The problem is he's not been finishing the races, and that's sort of an issue. But last season, he led 70 laps in this race. Then Sam Mayer punted him late and took the win, and Ty Gibbs had a bad finish. He led 25 laps in 2022. Epic battle with William Byron. It reminded me of the Ambrose Keselowski battle. Like they were just dueling it out, going back and forth. Finally, it went too far. They took each other out. Again, not a good finish. So that's 2 years in a row where he's been the best car or one of the 2 best cars and didn't get the finish. So please get the finish this year, Ty. But he should be a top 3 car is the point that I'm getting at there. He's only got 2 starts in the Xfinity Series on road courses this year. 24th at Coda, not a great day, but second place in Chicago. Again, not taking a lot about Chicago, but you can toss it in there and if you like it. Last season Xfinity Series, 1 at Indy, 3rd place at Coda, 4th at Sonoma. You like those back in 2022. 2nd at the Roval, 8th at Indy, 1 Road America, 7th at Portland. So good runs in the Xfinity Series. Of course, we all know his first ever race, Rod, in the Xfinity Series, the day that I fell in love with him. I think that was like 75. It might have been like 95-1. It was a big number. Very first career start. Put a little bit on him, and it was absolutely beautiful. He kicked everybody's ass to the Daytona road course. So, yeah, let's do that again this week, Ty Gibbs. Top 3, that's all we're asking for, plus 120.
I think Erykah Badu wrote a pretty good song about him, about calling Tyrone or something like that. I don't know. It's a great song. You should go give it a listen. They're talking about Gibbs. But I'm going to read the following statement. Until further notice, Rod Villagomez is hereby forbidden to say anything at all about Ty Gibbs unless he can say something nice. So we'll put that to bed, and I will move on to my next bet, which
Didn't your mother teach you anything, Rod? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't talk about Ty Gibbs.
I do believe she said that when I was like 2 or 3 years old. It's coming back to me now. It's a long time ago. I don't even think Ty Gibbs was even a thing when I was 2 or 3 years
definitely
old.
Not.
Yeah.
I don't think he was the thing when you were like 20 years old.
I was going to say 20 or 30 years old, maybe even. So, all right. My next bet also involves numbers, and it is the winning car number under Ty Gibbs's age, 20 and a half. No, I'm just kidding. It's Ty's 21, right?
He's 21. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it's under 20 and a half, or over 20. I don't know, whatever. But I'm going to take the under on this one, under 20 and a half. It's actually kind of a well set number. Okay. Minus 120. You're going to pay a little bit of juice, but you're not going to pay it because you're not going to lose. The only dude, and I'm going to say it again, the only dude above this number that scares me at all is Shane Van Gisbergen. That's the only car above 20 that gives me any sort of the heebie-jeebies. Not Austin Hill. I don't think he can win this race. Not Ed Jones, not Jeb Burton, not Kyle Sieg, not Blaine Perkins, not Parker Retzlaff, not Austin Green, not Thomas Annunziata, not Weatherman, not Benedetto. You get the picture. None of these guys. Does Riley Herbst scare me a little bit? No, he doesn't. Does Ross Chastain scare me a little bit? No, he doesn't. So
this is actually you're on to something here, Rod. This is basically, in a way, taking the field versus SVG.
Yep, it 100%.
Wow.
Because you get guys like Mayer, you get Jesse Love, who's actually, believe it or not, somewhere in the favorites of this to actually do something in this race. You get Allgaier, you get Sammy, you get Logano. Sorry, I said his name because it was there. You get Allmendinger, you get Byron, you get Creed, you get Gibbs, you get Almirola. Like, that's everybody. And then on the outside of that other group is Shane Van Gisbergen. But if you really believe he's going to win, then you just take the outright on him.
You bet him instead. Yeah, I mean, it's just, because well, I mean, all these guys we mentioned, Eric Almirola and Ty Gibbs and Sheldon Creed and William Byron, AJ Allmendinger, Mayer could win this. Allgaier could win this. Sammy's okay, maybe not. Cole Custer could win this. Like, Custer's won some road courses, right? Like, wow, I had not really looked at that, Ron, and that's why you're the number expert. I think this, again, obviously SVG is the heavy favorite and probably should kick everybody's ass, but if you're playing the numbers game, pun intended, this might be the way to go.
Yeah, I looked at this and I thought, oh man, I should probably take the over because it's SVG and it's only -110 because the under's juiced more than the over. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, but if you bet the over, you might as well just bet the 105 or 125 that you get for SVG.
It's such a catch-all for so many other good drivers in case SVG doesn't get it done that I think that makes it worth it. So, I like it. All right, Rod, the outright market. Looking at it, you got SVG at +110. We talked about it already. Again, could do it, yes. Worth betting on? I don't think so. Ty Gibbs at 4-1. I looked at it. I considered it. Just talked about how good he's been. I like the top 3 number better. I feel a little bit safer. Gives you a little bit of room there, a buffer. Okay. William Byron at 6-1, Rod. This is where it jumped out to me, and it's like, William Byron, you're getting a Cup Series guy. Pretty fucking good in the Cup Series on road courses, if you haven't noticed here lately. Been pretty fucking good here in the Xfinity Series in the past as well. Okay, 6-1. Now we're talking. I like it. So William Byron, going to be the first guy that I'm going to take. And it's mostly just a numbers game. Like, again, this isn't me picking William Byron over SVG. This is William Byron's at a much better betting number than SVG is. And he's got the ability to straight up beat SVG. I mean, he's a Cup Series regular. That's multi-time winner. Like, that shouldn't be shocking anybody. So he hasn't made any Cup Series or any Xfinity Series starts on road courses this season. He only made one Xfinity Series start last year. That was at Coda, second place finish. Good solid run there. In 2022, the race here, right? I talked about it earlier. Him and Ty Gibbs duking it out. Obviously, neither one wins, but one of those two guys should have won that race because they were good. Let me go back to yesterday's notes, Rod, and read you what he's done in the Cup Series lately. Last season, 66 laps he led here in the Cup Series to win the race. You got to love that. 6th place finish here in 2021. 2 of the last 3 Cup Series road course races, he has been in. No, let's start that over. In 3 of the last 4 Cup Series races, road course races, top 2 finish. He is an elite road course racer in the Cup Series, putting him in the Xfinity Series, and he should be really good here as well, right? It's that Hendrick 17 car. It's going to be fast. It's going to be good. So give me William Byron at 6-1. Again, just pick the guy you want at the top of this board. I think really is kind of the deal, right? Whether if it's SVG you want to bet on him, I'm not saying don't do it. If it's Ty Gibbs you want to bet on him, I'm not saying don't do it. If it's Byron, I like that. If it's Allmendinger, I love that as well. But then I think that there's a couple of guys worth the number that's bigger for just small insurance plays. Sam Mayer at 18-1. Think about all the stats I read off earlier. I'm not going to go through them again. And think about everything that he did there, Rod, and all those wins he got. He's capable of winning on road courses. So at 18-1, definitely worth it. He could go beat all of these guys. And that's if SVG doesn't have a problem, if William Byron doesn't have a problem, if Ty Gibbs doesn't get wrecked by Sam Mayer, or whatever. Oh, by the way, won this fucking race last year. He's 18-1 in the same car, all that stuff. So I think worth a sprinkle at that number. And then Eric Almirola, Rod, 33-1. You talked about him earlier. He's in a Joe Gibbs car that is extremely fast. We've seen that 20 car just be an all-star car all year. A true, like, to the T all-star car. Remember that race at Sonoma last year, Rod? I think it was last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was last year.
It was last year.
Eric Almirola, he's in the RSS. Was it? Yeah, RSS Sieg Racing car, a third entry, some random number, whatever. Kyle Larson's in that race. AJ Allmendinger's in that race. Ty Gibbs, I think, was in that race. 4, 5, 6 Cup Series drivers. Eric Almirola won that fucking race at like 150 to 1 or something stupid. It was ridiculous. Should have never even been there. And he did. He beat all those guys, won that race. He's 33 to 1 in the fastest car in the field, the 20 Joe Gibbs car. It's the fastest car out there. You got to put something on him. And you mentioned his 2 Xfinity Series starts here, 5th and 8th place. He's not been bad here. You don't generally think of Eric Almirola as a big road course guy, but he just won last year in the Xfinity Series, beating a ton of other, Cup guys that are really good at it. And he's been good here in the past. He's in a really fast car. 33 to 1. I think it's worth it. So Byron 6 to 1, Mayer 18 to 1, Almirola 33 to 1. And then Rod, one final thing. We're betting on William Byron on Saturday. We're betting on William Byron on Sunday. Caesars will put them together for you. Plus 51.50, so basically 51 to 1 for William Byron to sweep the weekend. Why couldn't he do it? He almost did it I guess he wasn't in the race last year. Never mind. He almost won 2 last time he was in the Xfinity Series here, and he did win last time he was in the Cup Series here. Why couldn't he sweep the weekend? 51 to 1. Like if he wins on Saturday, now you're holding a ticket to him where he's only right now, 8 to 1 or whatever the deal is for the Cup Series. So put them together, 51 to 1 or plus 51.50, but 51 to 1 basically. William Byron to sweep the weekend.
I love that album too, by the way. 5150. Great album. Kids, go look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. It'll change your life. Yeah, go ahead there, Cody. Look up 5150. Tell me what you find. You're going to love it. Look, and to further the point on SVG, because I'm simple. I'm giving out Dinger 8 to 1. He should never be 8 to 1 on a road course ever. That is disrespectful when his teammate is at plus 120. I get that Shane Van Gisbergen has beaten the field several times over in this one. I know that he won in Chicago, right? He beat Kyle Larson. That's fantastic, but that's a street course. That's not the traditional NASCAR road course that we're after. The other ones that he was in, Sonoma, that 17 car. Boris said was running that 17 car. So there was no way he had any competition from that 17 car to win this race. So he easily handled that one as well. Portland, let me see that 17 car. Oh, yeah. Wasn't even in the race in that one. So he had no pressure from a Hendrick Motorsports driven car there either. He has not seen the level of competition on an Xfinity road course race that he's about to see this week, other than, of course, in Chicago. So he's suspect this week. He very much is suspect to getting beat outright by somebody, which is why taking plus 120 for him to win this race, while you may think it's the smart move, it's not necessarily the smartest of moves. Can he go out there and whoop their ass and lap them by 6 laps? Sure. Anything's possible for Shane Van Gisbergen. We've seen that already this season. But I think the better way to take a look at this is that he has not felt the pressure on a traditional road course that he has, there you go. And that's the thing. He was racing and beating Larson at Coda until but again, he was racing and beating Larson, but that late thing happened and cost him the race. That was the learning curve that he needed. He's going to get another shot to do it again. The books think, TK, that he's going to do it. So many people think he's going to do it, and that's fine. I'm not saying that he can't.
He probably should.
He probably will.
But it's all like, this is a bet. Like, we're looking at this from the betting angle. If we're just coming on here to give you a pick every week, like, oh, who's the favorite? Okay, then that's the guy, right? But it's just man, the number is for all the people in this field that are so good. And to your point on Allmendinger, Rod, like, I know that it's been a little disappointing this season. He's not really, we thought that we were going to get these epic duels between him and SVG, and we haven't got it. But don't forget how fucking good AJ Allmendinger is at road courses. He hasn't just completely lost it. It hasn't just gone away. And you're getting good numbers on him. You got to take advantage of this. And if you're down in Australia with Nico there, you can get good numbers on him. So he got I guess he's 8 to 1. So now, but he got him at 13 to 1 earlier, is what he was saying. Ooh, so
beautiful stuff.
Very nice.
Love it. All right, well, get out your pen and paper. We're about to go over our Watkins Glen Xfinity picks for this race for the Mission 200 at the Glen Betting Picks. Cody started you off with Justin Allgaier over Mayer at plus 110. I added Eric Almirola over Austin Hill at plus 115. Cody gave you Austin Hill as a top 5 car at 5-1. I said that Justin Allgaier would be a top 5 car at plus 225. Cody said Sam Mayer would be a top 5 car at plus 275. I said Justin Allmendinger. Allgaier, Allmendinger, it's a little close. And it's late. AJ Allmendinger would be a top 3 car at plus 250. Cody said that AJ would be a top 5 car at plus 105. I said Sammy Smith would beat Logano, Chandler Smith, and Ross Chastain and get you plus 260 to win Group B. Cody gave you Ty Gibbs as a top 3 car at plus 120. I said the winning car number would be under 20.5, minus 120. Cody gave you William Byron at 6-1, Sam Mayer 18-1, Eric Almirola 33-1, and of course the Byron sweep of the weekend at 51.50. And then I gave you AJ Allmendinger at 8-1 to win the Mission 200 at the Glen. There it is, Cody. The card is set, and we are ready for racing at Watkins Glen.
Rod, we said they didn't give us very good options, but we found enough options to make it over an hour. I like it. I feel, and like, man, again, it's a chalky week, but I'm feeling good about these plays. So I think we're in for, man, I think we're in for some good racing. This is going to be like, think of all of these guys in this field. This is going to be a good race.
This is Cup Junior on Saturday. So we get a preview of the Cup race on Sunday, on Saturday with all these guys in this race. So, all right. Well then, Cody, tomorrow we come back with our final DFS episode of the week for Xfinity. And then we send you on your way to enjoy the weekend of racing in New York, in beautiful, beautiful country, New York. So yeah, let's do that right. Let's send him off. And I know it's late. Thanks for hanging with us, guys. I know it's tomorrow in some cases. Nico, for you, it's already.
Nico, that's Friday afternoon already. Cheers for the Picks boys on this lovely spring Friday afternoon. So spring there as well, which is, again, different, not spring here. So.
Indeed.
All right, Rod.
Yes,
Follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. NFL previews, cranking those out. Bunch of those for this weekend, which is great. TK 4:34. Where are you at, TK? It says 4:34 p.m.
Across the pond.
I guess that's. He's New Zealand too.
New Zealand.
Gosh, I love all you guys from down under. It's great. Kyle Lee as well. Night guys. Thanks for the plays. Appreciate you guys. At Husker_Zeeb. Find all my shit over there. And
find me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link on about everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's Sportsbook Review, got some parlays going on. Make sure you check out the back road. Seth and Elliott broke down Watkins Glen for you as well. So yeah, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll go to bed and rest up and be ready for you on the morrow. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing and wake up, Cody. Let it ride.